So we are working through the 8 limbs of yoga here in Puerto Rico, and we are on the 4th limb. And the 4th limb is Pranayama. And Pranayama, prana just really means energy or life force, and yama is the extension of it. So it's really about control of life force, right? And breath is really interesting because obviously it's the first thing we really do when we're born, and it's the last thing we really do before we die. But it's interesting because most people, even though it's just something that's unconscious and we do all the time, we tend to breathe very shallowly. So we're just filling a part of our lungs instead of filling up the whole area. Sometimes we don't get into the belly, into the diaphragm and moving there. So we're going to work a little bit on that and do a variation or a variety of different breathing exercises today. But what I find quite interesting about breathing is if you pay attention to it, breath reflects your emotion. So if you're anxious, your breath is going to change and it's going to be different than if you're calm. Or if you're angry, your breath is going to be very different than if you're chilled out. So you can really notice, just if you observe your breath in any of those situations when you're feeling various emotions, you'll notice it changes. So what's interesting about that is that if we can learn to control our breath, we can also work to control our state of mind. So I really like that. If we can control, that's part of yoga, if we can learn to control the breathing, we can control what's going on up here. Right? And really the breath is our connection to our body and to our minds. It's that in between, right? And it's the preliminary part to concentration, to meditation, on all of that stuff. Now, particularly in the time of COVID-19, the breath really helps to regulate our nervous systems, right? We're really on edge, for most of us anyway. We're in that kind of flight or fight or freeze kind of state where we kind of always have that kind of anxiousness. At least I do. Maybe you're all chilled, hopefully, and it's not a problem. So, but when we're feeling in that kind of state of anxiety, our nervous system gets to be a bit of a mess. So if we can control our breath, we're sending messages to our nervous system that we're safe, that we're okay, and it can really help us to settle. Okay, so once I learned how to breathe and really breathed along with my yoga practice, it really changed my relationship with yoga. So I'm going to start off just teaching you, and you might already know this, but I'm just going to quickly teach you Ujjayi breath, which is victorious breath. You probably, if you've been in my classes, you've heard that breath. It's that sound at the back of the throat when you constrict where you've got that constricted sound at the back of the throat. It sounds a little bit like Darth Vader breathing, or the sound of the waves. And so if you've got it down, no problem, that's brilliant, and you can use that throughout class always. If you don't, just so that I can teach you how it works, in yoga, we generally breathe through the nose all the time, slow inhales and slow exhales. But to do this Ujjayi breath, it's still through the nose, but we're just going to practice and learn by using the mouth to start with. So if you imagine your hand is a mirror, and you're trying to fog up the mirror, you go so you make that ha sound at the back of the throat, and you're blowing onto your hand and you're warming it up. So when we do that with the mouth open just to practice, and then you're trying to make that same sound, but with the mouth closed. So I'm really forcing it there. But the sound of it, I'm going to come a little bit closer so that maybe you can hear. But the sound is just. And the reason that I love Ujjayi breathing is it gives you something to focus on. So the breath, you're focusing on the breath as you're moving in your yoga poses. But the sound of it really helps to calm you down and to concentrate. And you're really trying to elongate that breath and go really slowly. So you might find through the course of the class today that it's helpful and you can use it, or it may take a bit of a practice. Like with everything in life, it's a practice. So just noticing what works, but it's just that sound. And the mouth is closed. All right. So you're welcome to ask me any questions about that at the end. And just listening and noticing your breath through the class. We're going to start today lying down. So you can find a comfortable way to lie down, finding the ground beneath you. And we're going to start, as always, just by grounding, by connecting, by bringing ourselves in the present. So just notice, first of all, the connection that you have with your mat or with the ground. That solid space underneath you that is there to support you. And you can close your eyes if it feels good. And just pay attention to begin with before changing anything. Just pay attention to how you're feeling today. So that could be emotionally, it could be physically, or it could be mentally. So you can notice if there's a lot of chatter in your mind. Just observe, paying attention. And then bringing your attention to the breath. And we're really going to slow the breath down. So you can start off with that Ujjayi breath, if you like, the one that we started with at the beginning of class. If that feels good, so you're just paying attention and noticing what feels good to your body and to your mind. So you're really slowing the breath down here. And you can place your hands on the belly, so one on top of each other on your belly. And as you inhale, see if you can raise the belly as though it's a balloon that's being blown up. So the hands lift as your belly rises with the breath. And exhale as the breath exits your lungs, the belly drops and your hands also drop with it. So just working with that breath, inhaling, feeling the expansion, and exhaling, feeling the contraction. And then you can move your hands to the chest. Inhaling again, seeing if you can widen the chest and expand through the chest with your breath. And exhaling, letting everything contract and the hands drop. And then finally, just bringing the palm space up and the arms alongside the body. See if you can feel your breath pressing your back down into the mat as it expands. So you're just focusing on the expansion through your back and your side body with your inhale. And exhaling again, just releasing and letting it go. And then pausing here just for a moment. Excellent. You can slowly open your eyes if you would like. You're going to bend your knees and bring your feet so that as about hips distance apart and coming towards your seat so that you can maybe brush the backs of your heels with your fingertips. On the inhale, you're going to raise your arms and your hips with your breath. And exhaling, you're bringing it back down to the floor, both the arms and the back. Inhaling, lifting, so moving the breath and the body at the same time. Couple more. Just slowing it all down with control. Excellent. The arms are going to come out to both sides, and you're going to lift the legs up. And we're going to come into eagle legs. So the right leg is going to come over the left, and you can wrap it around. The left arm is going to come over the right, so we're coming into eagle arms. You can just give yourself a hug too if you prefer. The elbows are coming away from you, the fingers are coming up overhead. You're going to inhale, you're going to lengthen the legs a little bit and the arms. And exhale, bringing knees and elbows towards each other. So inhale, finding some length that's challenging. And exhaling, squeezing everything in with your breath. One more, reaching up and down and exhaling together. Unraveling the arms, they can come out to the sides again. We're going to press the lower back into the ground. And then we're going to exhale, just moving the legs to one side a bit, but with control. So they're not just dropping. They're inhaling, you're coming up, pressing in the lower back. And exhale, coming to the other side. So we'll just do a few of those. Inhale, moving over a little bit. Centering, pressing the lower back down and over to the other side. Coming back through center, unraveling, knees again, just coming to center. And then the left leg this time wraps around the right arm over the left, pressing elbows up, fingers up behind you. Inhale, lengthening here. Exhaling, drawing it in. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, finding center. So we're really working the core here and probably some muscles that you may not have felt in a while. Squeezing just with your breath. One more time. Really using your breath as your anchor. Arms coming out. And again, inhale, pressing the lower back into the ground. Exhale, over to the side. So with your breath, centering, lower back in. Exhale, just coming slightly over. And your time with your breath. And coming back to center, unraveling, giving yourself a really nice loving squeeze. Inhale, reaching overhead, lengthening arms and legs reach. Exhaling, one more squeeze. We'll do two more of them. Inhaling, finding length. Your head and shoulders are lifting. Squeeze with the exhale. Last time, lengthening, squeeze. And then giving yourself a little bit of a back massage as you roll forward and back. And we're going to come all the way up into standing in a second. So see if you can do that without your hands that you may find you need them. Exhaling, hands come to center, feet just hips distance apart, palms facing away from you. You're just going to drop the head, and we're just going to come into a circle with the head just all the way around. You can inhaling coming back and exhale forward if you like. Just a really slow movement, working out the neck. And then you're going to go the other direction. Giving yourself a little bit of loving care and attention here. Notice if there's any knots and you need to just pay a little bit more attention there. Again, inhaling back, exhaling, coming forward, and then just lifting up. Excellent. So we're going to come and stand at the top of the mat. In fact, you can be anywhere on the mat to begin with. We'll come back there. We're gonna come to the breath of joy, which, if you've worked with me, you know that I like this breath quite a lot. It's a 4-part breath. So we're gonna inhale with the arms out, inhale arms to the side, inhale all the way up, and exhale out through the mouth. So it's sniff in, nose, 2, 3. So 3 nose sniffs. Exhale out through the mouth, and you can make a sound if you like. So it's a really good, this breath of joy, it's a good one for invigorating you or just feeling happier if you're feeling a bit fed up or down. So let's go with it. We'll go in a continuous loop, so keep sticking with it until we finish. So, ha, yeah. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Ha, 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 ha. 2 more. Ha, ha. Just stay folded once you're down. You're just noticing how you feel. That's a lot of breath that we're taking into the body. Allow the head just to drop here. You can shake your head no. You can nod your head yes. You can grab behind your heels and just lift up through the hips. Taking a moment here. And we're going to bend through the right knee, right hand coming down, and just coming into a gentle twist. Left arm can come up into the air. Finding that twist, you can look up if it feels okay to your neck, but listening to your body. And then exhale, coming down, switching side, bending through that left knee, lifting through the right arm, finding your twist. Hand comes back down, bending the knees a lot, bringing your arms out to the side, chest is parallel to the ground. And inhale, bring the arms all the way up, coming onto the tiptoes, lifting the heels, finding length. And then hands can come back to heart center, heels coming down, closing the eyes. So noticing that the breath might have got a little bit less smooth. Slow that down. Feeling the feet on the ground, that connection. Long, slow inhales and exhales. Opening the eyes, we're going to come into Kapalabhati breath, so breath of fire. We focus just on the exhales, and as we exhale, the belly comes in and up. So you don't even notice the inhales, you just, so you're forcing the exhales. And just to make it a little bit more challenging, we're going to come into chair pose. Now, if any of these breaths don't work for you, just work with your breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. You don't have to feel that they work, you know, that you have to do them. So the feet come together, arms are coming up into the sky, and we're going to sit down in a chair. Toes can lift, we're bringing the weight back into the heels here. And then we're going to get started in Kapalabhati. So inhaling deeply, exhaling deeply, and then inhale to begin. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale everything out, chin to chest, hold squeezing in the pelvic floor muscle, keeping the belly in towards the chest. Hold for a moment. Inhale, again, lifting, and hands can come to heart center. Inhale here, and we're going to twist over to the right side, so the legs might be complaining a bit. When you're in a challenging situation, breathe even more deeply. Focus on the breath. Now you've got an option here. You can try and lift through that left leg and bring it back behind you. It's challenging. If that doesn't work, come into center, doing that. And you can always drop that back knee, your choice. Taking a breath here, slowing it down, making sure you're not collapsing here with your top body, really pressing into the hands, pressing into the leg, finding your twist. Deep breath. Excellent. Calming into center. Hands are going to come down. We're just going to come into some circles here. So just inhaling and exhaling as we just find a little bit of movement in this pose. And going the opposite direction. Inhaling and exhaling with your speed. Excellent. Taking a breath here. We're going to lift up through that left leg. You can bring your hands onto the ground, or you can play with some balance here. Your choice. Breathing here. Remember, when things get challenging, that's the time to really use your breath as an anchor. The foot is going to come down behind you, bringing your arms all the way up. Excellent. Taking a breath here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, we're going to bring the hands to heart center. Exhaling, finding a twist. Inhale, coming to center. Exhale, twisting the other way. Inhale through center. Exhale, knee towards the ground. Inhale, up. One more time. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting the other way. Inhale, center. Exhaling, knee towards the ground. Inhale, up. Hands come down, knee coming all the way down here. Inhale, opening through the chest. Exhaling, lengthening here through that leg, front leg. You can use blocks if you like, books, whatever feels good. Inhale, finding length. Exhaling, calming towards that leg. Inhale, calming forward. We're going to turn with on that back foot, coming into Skandasana. So I'll show you from the front. Skandasana, you might be up a lot further, a lot higher, and that's fine too. You're listening to your body. You might find that you're on your tops of your toes, the heel might be lifted. That's okay too. Just noticing where you are in your body. Inhaling here, and you can bring that arm on the outside of that knee, opening up, twisting here. Excellent. So we're going a little bit weird here. We're going to turn back towards the front. So I'm going to show you on this side, and I'll also show you from the other way, the other direction. So what happens then is I'm turning the front foot all the way around, and my hip is starting to drop. So I'll show you from the other direction. So I'm just turning my toes, and my hip is coming down. So it's not quite on the ground, for me anyway, and I'm just hanging out here. Taking a breath. Inhale, coming through center. You can then bring that foot back, calming into plank. Heels press back. Taking a couple of breaths here. We're going to bring the knees down. And we're going to come into like a push-up, but with the knees down. So we're just squeezing the elbows in towards the chest and coming all the way down here. And then, sorry, I'm so used to doing knees, chest, and chin, but we're just coming down, squeezing the elbows in. And then the arms can come forward, legs coming back, lifting here. Deep breaths. Hands either side of the chest, the legs drop. We're just lifting up. So that was a push-up, reverse push-up, the knees are still down. If you like, you can always lift them. And we're coming back into plank. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then pushing back, downward facing dog. Bending your knees as much as you need, finding length through the back. But you can find any movement to help you, straightening the knees any amount, heels down any amount, but being most careful that your back and your arms are lengthened. And then you can look forward. You can walk your feet to your hands, or you can bend your knees, hop forward, and fold down here. Hands can come behind the shins, lifting up the sits bones. You can have your knees bend any amount, shaking your head no, nodding your head yes. And then the arms are going to reach up. You're going to come back into a chair pose. And we're going to come back into Kapalabhati. Inhaling deeply, exhaling deeply. Inhale to begin. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhaling everything out. Chin to chest. Belly towards, belly inward, squeezing in the pelvic floor muscles. And when you need to breathe, lifting your chin. Hands to heart center. And exhaling, twisting here to the left. Pressing the arms and hands into each other to open up, to get that twist, to stack the shoulders. And then you can play with lifting up through that right leg. Or any way you need to get in here. Remember, you can always drop that back knee. And then calming into center. Hands come down. And we can just come into some little circles here with the hips. That front hip, rather. Going in one direction. And then in the other. Excellent. Lifting up through that right leg. You can keep hands on the ground, or you can play with lifting. Finding that balance. Breathing. And lifting. Noticing if the breath is being challenged. See if you can slow it down. Keep a focus on it. And then that foot comes back. And we're going to inhale, reaching arms all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, finding an open twist. Exhaling, together. Sorry, inhaling here. Exhaling, twisting back. Inhaling, center, knee towards the ground. Inhale, center. Exhale, opening. Inhale, center. Exhaling, coming back. Inhale, center. Exhaling, knee towards the ground. Inhaling up. And then everybody dropping the knee. Hands to the ground. Opening through the chest as you push the hips forward. Exhaling, lengthening through that front leg. Finding length, inhale. Exhale, bringing chest down towards that thigh. We can do that one more time. Inhale, opening through the chest. Exhale, lengthening through that leg. Inhale, finding length through your back. Exhale, folding over. Excellent. Pressing the hips forward again. And you're just turning into Skadasana on this side. So remember, there's all sorts of variations that you can do. Listening as always to your body. And the breath is a good sign. It helps you. If it's getting a little bit laboured, maybe it's time to back off a little bit. The arm can come down, pressing into the knee. Knee into arm for some resistance. Opening up if this feels good. And then we're coming into that strange twist here where we're coming back to the front. And then the toes of that front foot are turning towards the side. And my hip is going to come down towards the ground here. Hand can come anywhere that feels comfortable. Inhale, calming back through center. Finding a plank pose here. Taking a few breaths. Slow, deep breaths. So you can come all the way down to the ground from plank, or you can drop the knees and come into a half push-up, coming all the way down and lengthening here. Again, arms are going to reach out in front of you, legs behind you. Inhaling, lifting up. Hands come down either side of your chest, legs come down, and then you can either press all the way up from here into a plank pose, or you can again lift up through the knee, or press the knees down and lift up through the upper body. Excellent. Back into a plank. And pressing back. Downward facing dog here. Taking a few breaths. And then you can walk your feet up to your hands, or you can bend your knees, look forward, hop forward, folding over here. And then inhaling, arms come either side, chest is parallel to the ground, and we're going to come all the way up to standing here. Hands touch at the top, exhaling a little bit of a side stretch. One direction, inhale to center, and exhale, calming the other direction. Inhale up, exhaling, Hands to heart center, closing the eyes. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling out of the mouth. Ha. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Ha. One more time. Inhale nose. Exhaling mouth. Ha. Excellent. And we're going to come down onto the ground, coming onto the knees. We're going to come into camel pose. So we're going to do a couple of things here. The knees are hips width apart. And you're going to just bring your arms out. You can have your tops of your feet down. And we're just going to lean back. So we're trying to keep length from the knees all the way up to the head. You can always put a blanket or a cushion under your knees if this is not uncomfortable. And it's challenging. You're going to get to a point where your body's just saying, I cannot go any further. It might be a little bit, it might be a lot. So breathe there, even though it's challenging. And inhale, coming up. We'll try that again. Notice where you feel that in your body. Exhaling, leaning back, trying to keep a long line from your knees all the way up to the top of your head. Inhaling, coming up. One last go. You might start feeling a bit shaky because it's challenging. Leaning back. Excellent. Inhale, coming up. Hands come to the hips. So, or just above the hips, they're coming to the waist. The thumbs are coming towards each other, elbows squeezing in. You can bring the toes up, tucked under if you like, heels up. Now, just squeezing in the elbows is going to help with opening up through the chest. So that might be all that you need to do. Pressing the hips forward this time and just leaning back. Trying not to crunch the lower back. You're lifting up through your upper back and finding that bend. And if you have more space, you can come further down, keeping those hips pushed forward. Taking a breath or two, noticing the challenge with your throat open here, and slowly coming on up, sitting your heels down, your seat down onto the heels, and you've got your toes tucked under. Just notice how that feels. Deep in breath and deep exhaling here. We're going to come into some lion breath here. So the fingers are going to be turned in towards your body. Knees can be underneath your hips or a little bit further forward at the moment. You can kind of even come back a little bit if you like. Inhaling here, and as you exhale, your tongue comes out and you're focusing on your third eye center between your eyebrows. So inhale deeply through the nose, exhaling, letting it all out, anything that doesn't serve your body anymore. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhaling here. Excellent. Right. While we're here, if you want to, you've got a couple of options. You can come into a balance if you want. So you can bring your knees up and try and bring them into your armpits. Crow pose. So the idea is you're leaning forward, and if you've got blocks or books, you can always bring them so that they're where the third eye would be, or the forehead. So you're trying to make a triangle with your hands, and you're just working. You might lean forward and lean your head on the blocks, and then you can work to lift your legs. So that's one option. If that doesn't work for you, you can come into a tree pose, seated tree pose, and if you'd like, you can work that instead, just folding over that leg, if it doesn't feel like the balance is good for you. If you are working on balance, making sure that that triangle works, so even if you don't have the block, you're looking far ahead of your hands, and you're just leaning,
Maybe you just lift up one foot or one toe or the other and play here.
Any variation. But if you're in seated, okay, make sure you do both sides. So you can switch over if you've done one side and work on the other side.
Again, there's no need to feel bad for not being able to do a pose or not wanting to do a pose. It's all good.
Breathing, listening to yourself is really important. Then we're bringing the feet in towards each other and the knees out to the side. Baddha Konasana, we're in butterfly pose. The feet can open like a book and you're just pressing the knees down towards the ground. Try to lift up through the spine and get length. Taking a couple of breaths here. You might find if this is challenging, that you're going to bring your hands behind you and lift up, tenting your fingers so you can get more space. If you've got a little bit more flexibility, you can walk yourself forward and fold. But you're trying to keep a lengthened spine here. Few deep breaths, making sure that your focus is on your breath. When your focus is on your breath, your mind isn't wandering quite so much. Yeah, it helps you to keep focused. We're going to move the feet further away from the body and again opening them up. Now this time we can round the back and bring the head down towards the feet. If you don't get there, you can find something to lean your head down on in the middle. So just listening to where your body is at. Breathing here. Excellent. Slowly finding your way up, coming into a straddle here, opening up through the legs, finding length again through the back and the spine, lifting up. So you might be like me, this is one of the hardest poses for me, and my body wants to lean back. So this may be enough. If you've got more space, you're going to walk your feet, your fingers forward. You can always bend your knees any amount and find length here through the back. That works too. So listening to your body, it's okay, we're all different. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Taking a couple of breaths wherever you are. And slowly coming up. Inhaling, coming up to center. Exhaling, turning over towards the right leg. And exhale, we're going to come down over that right leg. Finding a stretch there. Just listening to your body, noticing how it feels. Maybe it's super challenging. Wherever you're at, finding your breath, breathe. When you focus on that breath, particularly that ujjayi sound, like the sound of the waves, it's calming, it keeps the mind quiet. Breathe. Inhale, reaching further than your leg and all the way up. And then exhaling, turning over towards the left. And you're coming down over that leg. Notice how it feels. Breathing here. Breathing into that challenge. If your mind is wandering, bring it back. Focus on the breath. Going a little bit more deeply. And then inhale, reaching beyond where you were, coming all the way up. And hands can come down, legs can come together. And we're just going to come down onto the back, so you can roll on down, one vertebra at a time. Calming on down. Feeling the ground beneath you, how nice that feels, pressing the shoulders down into the ground. Bringing the feet closer to the seat again. We're going to take that right ankle and cross it over the left knee, the foot of the right on the right side. The toes are coming in, so it's active, that foot, so you're protecting the knee. You can gently press that right knee away from you, but being gentle, and you're probably pressing onto the thigh is better than onto the knee. You can bring your hands either side of that left leg, maybe interlacing the fingers behind it and putting everything in. So you're squeezing it in, finding openness through the hip. Maybe if it feels good, you can lengthen through that left leg. And any variation, if you like, grabbing onto that left ankle or foot, you're welcome to go there too. So just listening, and we don't always have to go 100%. Breathing. Finding that rhythm. Going more inward with that breath, helping you every step of the way. Keeping your eyes closed if that feels good. And release. Knees can come in towards your body, giving yourself a squeeze, rolling from side to side. Excellent. Other side. So you're going to bring your feet down, back hips width distance apart, left ankle over right knee, toes on that left foot coming towards you. You can gently press that leg out away from you, knee away from you. And then bringing the hands either side of that right leg, squeezing in. And any variation you like here. So if you want to lengthen through that right leg, go for it. If you want to grab onto the ankle, go for it, or the foot. Just listening to your body. Finding those deep breaths, maybe closing your eyes, maybe going more inward with the sound of your breath, with that rhythm of your breath. And release. Knees coming in, rolling from side to side. So you have a choice here. If you would like to go into shoulder stand, that's one option. Otherwise, I suggest happy baby with your feet up. Or you can come into legs up the wall. So if you're coming into a shoulder stand, you're going to try and roll up onto your shoulders, bringing your hands up your back, elbows trying to come towards each other as much as they can, pressing the balls of the feet up to the ceiling. And maybe your chin is close to your chest, or you might find you're a little further away, that's fine. Taking a breath here, and you've got a few moments to play, so you can come into a straddle here. You could come into eagle legs if that feels good. Anything that takes your fancy. You can also bring knees either side of the ears if you like, or you can find plow pose with the feet up overhead with the lengthened legs. So you've got a few moments to play. If you're down on the ground and you've got legs up the wall or happy baby, you can make any adjustments or movements that you like in those poses, or just find some stillness. All fine. Wherever you are, checking in with your breath and slowing it down. And for everybody, we're going to slowly make our way into fish pose. So you can bring the palms of the hands face down underneath the seat, the forearms pressing down into the ground. Imagine you've got a strap around your chest
And it's lifting your chest up to the sky. And then you can lengthen through the neck, allowing the head to drop back, finding Matsyendrasana fish pose. If you like, you can lift the legs and let them hover for a bit more active pose. But listening to your breath, is it labored? Do you need to back off a bit? Or are you doing okay? Slowing everything down. And release when you're ready, no hurry. Pressing the back and the shoulders into the mat. Palms coming out to the side. So we're going to come into a spinal twist. We started off coming into with eagle legs. So you can go back to that if you like, or any other variation. I have my right knee wound around above the left leg. And I'm going to move over to the left side. And my right elbow, my right shoulder is pressing down into the ground, looking over my right fingertips. If it feels good for you, keep that pose. Otherwise, with the gaze up to the ceiling. And you can close your eyes and focus on your breath. Slowing the breath down. Going more inwardly. Inhale, calming up through center, unraveling the legs however they were. If you're doing eagle legs, left comes over right, and we're moving them over to the right side as the left shoulder presses down. And close the eyes if it feels good. And breathe. Those long, full inhales and exhales that fill the belly, fill the chest and the back and the side body. And then calming through center, you can give yourself a final squeeze before coming into Shavasana. Unconditional hug, being there for yourself. Life is really hard. So giving yourself that attention, that kindness, that support that you need, and then stretching out into your Shavasana. You can use up as much space as you need. Just allowing your toes to fall to the side, the palms face up, closing the eyes. And then this is one time in yoga where we just let go of control of the breath. There's not any need to control it in Shavasana, just let it go. And allow yourself just to be. You can just check your body, make sure there's no additional areas where there's any tension. If there is, see if you can put your attention there for a moment and just release it. And then allowing yourself the gift of completely surrendering. Just allowing gravity to pull your body down towards the center of the earth. Let go, release. Melt into the mat. attention to your physical body now. Maybe wriggling fingers or toes. Maybe circling wrists or ankles. Inhale, you can bring the arms up overhead, finding a really nice stretch from toes all the way to your fingertips. And bringing knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a really nice hug here. Final hug of the class. And when you're ready, you can roll onto your left side. You can use your left arm as a pillow if that feels good. Sorry, whichever side you're on, using your arm as a pillow. All good. Pausing here, noticing the ground there to support you. And then you can gently press yourself up into a seated pose. You can use a block underneath your seat or books or cushion if that feels good, if that helps you to lengthen through your back. So you're trying to get to sit up as your tallest self here. And we're going to end with a breathing exercise. It has 3 parts to it. We're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold the breath in for the count of 7, and exhale for the count of 8. So this really helps, or it should help, with the nervous system, because you're really slowing the breath down, particularly the exhale, making the exhale longer than the inhale. So I'll repeat that. It's inhale for the count of 4, hold for 7, and exhale for the count of 8. Keeping the eyes closed here, keeping the gaze inwards at the moment. So I'm going to count you through it. If it doesn't work for you, like always, find something that does, but it should really be calming and settling for you. So inhaling here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just pause here. Just notice how your body feels. Just observe. And then we're going to bring the hands to the heart center. Inhale, reaching the arms to both sides and all the way up, hands touch. And exhale, bringing hands back into heart center. Inhale, reaching out and all the way up, gathering positive energy, and exhale, bringing the hands to the heart center. Inhale, reaching out and up, knowing that the breath is always there for you. Exhaling,
hands to heart center. Pausing here. Finding some gratitude towards yourself for finding the time for your body and mind today. And maybe finding some gratitude for the breath. It is pretty amazing what our bodies do and how our breath can support us. So I'm going to end with a short quote by Thich Nhat Hanh, and he says, "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breath is my anchor." I'll read that one more time. Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breath is my anchor. So hopefully you feel anchored today, bringing the hands up to the third eye center between your eyebrows. Pleasure guiding you all through your practice today. Thank you for being here. Namaste.